And with the weather news now on BBC Two, John Kettley.
Hello again. Well, with twisters all the rage over on BBC One this week, I thought we'd take a look at the weather across in North America because it is very hot in many places. The deep red colour here is indicating the very highest of those temperatures, up around 35 to 40 degrees perhaps in some areas. That hot weather's set to continue for much of this coming week as well. Obviously rather cooler further north, and the yellow and the green there coming across Canada does indicate much cooler weather. But there will be some more storms to come through this week as well. We can see very bright colours here on the radar picture as we've gone through the past 24 hours. One batch of storms running across the east, and no doubt some tornadoes are mixed in with those bands of heavy rain, and more wet weather here as you can see to the east of Denver, Colorado. So it does look as if it's a rather stormy spell. Quite normal of course in Tornado Alley. This is the peak of the season. It really begins to quieten down a little bit more in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But we've got low pressure up around the Great Lakes at the moment, and we are going to find that things do improve gradually in the next 24 to 48 hours. High pressure will build in from the north, but having said that, we are going to see low pressure out to the west. We'll see that low pressure system still across those eastern states, so no doubt there are some more violent thunderstorms to come as we go through the next 3 or 4 days. Well, back across this side of the Atlantic, it's been very hot this month over in Moscow. We've seen an average temperature during the first 26 days this month in June in Moscow as high as 27. That's the average maximum temperature, 27 degrees. That really is very hot. That's exceptional heat across there in Moscow. Of course, there have been plenty of thunderstorms as well. It's pretty hot in many parts of Europe just now, but naturally lots of thunderstorms do brew up when it gets so high, the temperature, and we've still got those storms continuing during Sunday as well. Well, that area of low pressure across the middle of Europe is going to trigger more showers in the next 24 hours or so. More low pressure too across the Ukraine. So again, it's pretty unsettled despite those high temperatures. But across the south, really by and large, we've got high pressure in charge. There'll be a few storms probably on the mountains of Italy, across the mountains of the Balkans as well, and through into Turkey. But for much of the Mediterranean resort areas, it really is going to be very hot and a good deal of sunshine to come as we go through this next 3 or 4 days. Well, we're getting warmer as well. We're going to find some warm conditions for a time this week across many parts of England and Wales. Always cooler and rather wetter at times across Scotland and Northern Ireland. You can see the winds though are going to pump up from the south as the week goes on. But as far as Monday morning's concerned, well, it'll be a rather cool start. Certainly a fresher night tonight than it was the previous night. There'll be some sunshine around, but already some showers out here in the west, some showers too in northwestern Scotland. Those showers will gather, become more widespread around the middle of the day with some thunder in them across the northern half of the country. And then they'll begin to fade away again through the afternoon at the expense of this wet and windy weather, which will get into the far southwest as we go towards the evening. And that band of wind and rain is going to sweep across many southern parts of the country as we go through the night Monday and into Tuesday morning. Temperature-wise, well, a pretty warm day really, despite the breeze coming in from the southwest. Up to 20 degrees in Norwich and London, for example, 17 for Belfast, 17 for Edinburgh, and 17 degrees up in Aberdeen. That's it from me. May I wish you a very good night.
IT is on the BBC Learning Zone agenda in 20 minutes here on BBC Two. A short break until then, so from the late shift, good night.